Right, here we go. Welcome to the stream. I'm going to dive into Escape the Dark Castle. I've not played it for a while, and it usually beats me. So let's see how we go. Hello. Right, I'm most of the way through setup. What I haven't done yet is chosen my characters. I have to first of all randomly select a boss. So I'm playing with the base game plus the Kickstarter upgrade kit, which added 8 extra cards, 2 extra bosses and a special item. So we pick a boss at random. So we'll go with that one. And then we deal 15 room cards. I've already shuffled these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 room cards. And our start card. So there we have our game. We have random. We have an item deck. I've got a feeling I'm supposed to start with a few items, and I can't remember how many. We'll do some live rule checking. So health points. No, maybe not. Maybe that was wishful thinking. And then we get an item for successfully winning a combat. And as I'm playing solo, I need to decide which of my characters are the ones that are turning the card over, or rushing into the room first. So let's have a look at our choice of oh so beautiful characters. There's the tanner, the cook, the miller. One thing that does annoy me about this game is that they don't put the stats in the same position on every card. They're in order of what they are highest in. So the fist is might. We have to play 2 characters, with us having really playing solo. So I may as well go for someone who is. I think they've tried to balance it so that whichever set of stats someone has, there is somebody with the opposite. So we will go with. What difference does it make? We'll go with the miller, who's middle fight, high on whatever the eye is, cunning, low on wisdom, and then we'll pick someone who's the opposite. So that would be the abbot, miller and the abbot. And then we've sort of got balance. So these stats basically are how many times those symbols appear on that character's specific dice. So we have the abbot and we have the miller. So we don't need any of those unless we draw the special axe dice. They are our chapter dice as we start our effectively choose your own adventure book. Because we're playing 2 players or 2 characters, we start with 18 health each. So let's see what the Dark Castle has in store for us. After years of incarceration in the depths of the Dark Castle, you finally break free of your cell. In a small stone room adjoining the cell block stands an old wooden chest. The lock is open. Draw an item card per player now. That's what I was thinking of. The rules for solo is when it says player, it means character. So let's see what we get. Mr. Miller gets a decayed blade, a one-handed weapon. Once per round of combat, when you roll a wisdom, you may roll again and choose which of the 2 results to apply. And the abbot gets a Robson shield. Whenever you would lose HP, reduce the amount by 1, up to a minimum of 1. Sorry, my eyes stream. Not only am I live streaming, my eyes streaming. Allergies. Right, you hear footsteps approaching. You must not linger here. You make for the exit, slipping away and disappearing into the darkness. A skeletal form lies slumped in the corner of this dark chamber. Beneath the dust of ages, it still clutches a mouldering map. As a group, choose one option. We either move on or we steal the map. So basically, we try and get the map out of the skeleton's hands, and if we fail, something horrendous will probably happen. So we need a wisdom roll to steal the map, which is the star. So Abbott has the highest star. I'm going to go for the map. Right, I have to roll 2 wisdom in 3 attempts. Let's make a bit more space. That's 1 wisdom. I failed. Right. The skeleton twitches, then rises from its ancient slumber to punish you, destroying the map in its rage. Begin combat. So these symbols on the bottom of the card, we have an eye symbol, so we place an eye dice out. We have a star symbol, so we place a star dice out, and then we have a player symbol. So we roll 1 dice per player. We have two characters. Right. So what this means is to be able to defeat the skeleton. Between us, we need to roll 3 eyes and a star, 3 cunnings and a wisdom. Okay, the way combat works is basically you roll your dice, you remove symbols that match. Doubles are a shield, which means they don't attack. You can see that, can't you? Doubles are a shield, which means they don't attack you back. If they're still alive at the end of each fight, they do attack back, and he will do 2 damage. So let's see, Mr. Abbott's going to go first. He rolls a fist, which is absolutely no good. And Miller is going to go, he rolls 2 eyes, so he removes 2 of those, and that's a shield, so he's not going to get hit. Now it is Skeleton's go, and he hits. I've not updated my names here, have I? So Miller. No, not a millet. Miller. Right. Okay, so Abbott takes 2 hits. His shield protects him for 1. Okay. And then we just keep going. An individual character can sit a round out and recover, I think it's just 1 hit point. Should really refresh my mind. Yeah, 1 hit point. You can sit a combat round out to just heal 1. Let's see how this goes before we decide any further. Abbott's going to dive in again. We need an eye and a wisdom. He's good at the wisdom, but not so much at the eye. Look at that. Double wisdom, so we remove 1 of those. And Miller is going in. Which one's wisdom again? Star. He rolls the eye. There you go. He's defeated. So we move on. After you have defeated someone in combat, you draw an item card. So we get a stale loaf of bread. We can discard to restore 2 hit points to your character. So I'm going to give that to the Abbot. Let's put it on the outside. Give us a little bit more room. In fact, let's do that. Right, we move on. Who's going to go first? I think we'll send the Miller in first because he's got slightly more health points. 2 deformed thugs are debating the best way to kill and eat another man when they notice your arrival. Nominate a player to roll a wisdom or a double in 1 attempt. Wisdom is the star, isn't it? I keep forgetting. Yeah, so I'll nominate Abbott. He will attempt a wisdom or a double. And he fails again. The attackers kill the man and turn on you, licking their lips and looking you up and down. Begin combat. So we have an eye and then 1 dice per player. So it's 2 eyes and a fist, 2 cunning and a wisdom. Right, well, let's send Miller in first with his knife. He rolls 2 wisdom and he is shielded. So that's those 2 dealt with. And then Abbott will go in and he rolls a wisdom, which he can't do anything about. So he is going to get hit for 2, 1 because of his shield. And then we go again. Who's best at fighting? They're both middling on fighting, so let's get Miller to do it because he can re-roll with his blade. He rolls a fist anyway, so the fight is done. We draw another item card. And we get the cracked axe. Weapon 2-handed. So, in combat, roll a chapter die along with your character die each time you attack. Apply both results. So I'm going to give that to him. And you know, I'm thinking in Arkham rules here that 2-handed means you have to drop something, but Rotten Shield is down as armour. I'm going to discard the stale loaf of bread, which I can do at any time to restore 2 hit points. And he's going to have the axe. So now they both can do something about rerolls or additional stats in combat. Cool. I'm going to double check the rules again. I've got a feeling each character can only hold 2 items. I might be wrong on that. Yeah, maximum of 2. And if it's described as 2-handed, they can't carry any other handed items, which makes sense. So I wasn't too far out. Right, I don't know why I'm going there to click to advance because that doesn't work. So this is physical components. Right, oh, I didn't decide who was going first. We'll send the guy with the axe in first. He's got an axe and a shield, so it can't be too bad. You interrupt a beast man, devouring a fresh kill. He raises his head, sinew dangling from his gore-smeared mouth, and then charges. You must try to roll a might or a double. Might is fist. They're both middling on the old fist, so to speak. So let's see what happens. Who's going to roll the might? Well, seeing as he's rolled a might every time I have tried not to, he's not going to roll a might, is he? He doesn't roll a might or a double. Failure, you are slammed to the floor, lose 2 hit points and begin combat. Well, his shield will deflect 1. So combat, it is a might, it is a cunning, and 2 dice for the players. So it's another might and another cunning. Right, so Abbott is going to go wailing in with his axe now. In combat, roll a chapter die, one of these black ones, along with your character die each time you attack, and apply both results. So it's a fist is dealt with. The star does nothing. Miller is going to go in, and he does the other fist. And now the Minotaur, or whatever it is, attacks. 2 hit points off Miller, 1 hit point off Abbott because of his shield. Right, Abbott's going to go in again with his 2-handed axe. Well, at least he's shielded, but he's not rolled any hits there. And Miller goes in with, he gets the 2 and is shielded. So we draw another item card and we get a stale loaf of bread. So I think he is just going to discard that straight away and heal 2. Okay, moving on. We will thrust Miller through the door first because he is the healthiest now. As you pass a heavy wooden door, it flies open and a ragged madman bursts through. He wields his shackles as a weapon, and his crazed stare sends a clear message. You stand between him and freedom. You must try to roll a might or a double in one attempt. It's a common theme here, isn't there? I'm going to go with Miller this time because Abbott's let me down every single time. A might or a double, and he rolls neither. Okay. Failure. We are smashed aside. Lose 2 HP. Bubble. And begin combat. So it's fist, an eye, and then 1 dice per player. So that's 2 fists, an eye, and a star, because I can't be bothered to translate it into what they really mean every single time. Right, who's going first? Let's send Abbott in with his axe and shield. He goes a star and an eye. Miller will go in with his decayed blade. He's shielded, but he rolls 2 eyes. Eyes are cunning, so that doesn't apply his special rule on his decayed blade. And now he hits us back for 2 each. 1, 2, and he only gets 1 because of the shield. And we go again. Miller, go for it. 2 fists again, but he's shielded. And Abbott, 2 stars. That is terrible. So he hits us back again, 2 damage each. Miller goes down 2. Abbott goes down 1. Okay, so I think Miller is going to sit this round out and heal 1. So he's leaving it down, all down to Abbott. Here goes 2 fists. There we go, he's dealt with. And we draw another item card because we're still not at our limit. And we get Liquid Luck. Discards to re-roll your character die, applying only the second thought. So we move on. And Abbott will go first because he is the healthiest. Very slightly, and he has a shield. The familiar stench of the jailer fills the air, and he suddenly appears, the man who gave cruelty new meaning. As a group, nominate 2 players to try and trap this giant of a man. To hatch the plan, the nominated players must end up with the same trait on their character dice after a maximum of 3 rolls each, which can be taken in any order the players choose. Success, take the keys, you lock him in one of his own cells. Failure, he vows to lock you up for good. So, they both have 3 rolls. He has rolled a star, which is his luckiest roll. Doesn't say what order we have to do it in, so Miller's going to roll next. He rolls 2 fists. I'm going to re-roll 2 fists again. Re-roll, this is his 3rd and final roll. 2 eyes, that's his best roll. So he's got 2 rolls left. Fist, fist, we fail. And it's combat time. So he's a tough guy. 2 fist, 1 eye, plus 2 play dice. So that's 2 fist and 3 eye. Miller's best with the eye, so Miller is going to go in first. And he rolls a single eye. Abbott is wailing in with his cracked axe. He rolls 2 more eyes, okay. The jailer hits us back, 1, 2, 1 because of the shield, and we go again. I think Miller is going to sit this one out again and heal 1. Abbott is going in with his axe and shield, and he rolls 2 fists and a spare. Jailer is dealt with. I'm going to draw an item card anyway. It might be something better than what we're carrying. I should have used Liquid Luck, shouldn't I, on the last thing? Never mind. A rusted flail, a one-handed weapon. Once per round of combat, when you roll cunning, you may roll again and choose which of the 2 results to apply. In fact, I think I'm going to swap the Liquid Luck for the Rusted Flail, because the Liquid Luck is a one-off reroll, but by having both of those, he can now reroll Custom and Wisdom and Cunning. So he's Wisdom and Cunning. Wisdom is the star, which he only has one of. Cunning is the eye, which is his top one. So, yeah, lets him reroll basically all except he's got 2 in 3 chances of re-rolling his dice anyway. Right, we're moving on. Abbott goes first again because he's got a shield. The only way forward is down a dizzying step of spiral stairs which look ready to collapse. Gingerly at first, you begin the long descent into the darkness. Each player must try and roll a double in one attempt. Right, Abbott's alright. And he isn't. They only play in combat, so I can't re-roll. Liquid Luck could have helped me out there. Right, the stair crumbles underfoot and you fall to a section below. Use 1 hit point and try again. Right, roll a double. Yes, success. You make it to the lower stairs without incident. Right, Abbott is still going first because he's the guy with the shield. In this sweltering chamber, a blacksmith is forging a sword. He is so absorbed in his craft that you spot an opportunity to steal with him. As a group, choose one option. Move on, it's not worth the risk, even the whisk. Or steal, nominate a player to try and roll Cunning in one attempt. Well, Cunning is the eye. Miller is best at eye, but I'm not going to go for it. I am just going to move on. We only have a limited number of cards to get through before we reach the final boss. Most times I play this, I don't reach the final boss. Right, Abbott's going first again because he's the healthiest. You stumble upon an enticing store of castle supplies. As you approach, a portcullis begins to lower. You must act quickly. Nominate a mighty player to try and prevent it closing, and a cunning player to try and dash through and retrieve items. The player holding open the portcullis must try and roll might in one throw. Oh, we don't even get to choose whether we do this, so might and cunning. Cunning is the eye, so he's best at the eye, so I'll guess Abbott's going to be the might guy. Roll might, which is a fist in one throw, and he fails. The portcullis is too heavy. The nominated players both lose 1 hit point as it crashes to the ground. Shield isn't good enough to save him from that. Right, Abbott's going first still because he is the healthiest. At the end of this winding passage, a wooden chest covered in cobwebs is protected by a gauntlet of vicious-looking traps. As a group, choose one option, move on, or we try and roll cunning. No, I'm going to move on. These guys have taken enough of a battering so far. Abbott is still leading the way. The drunken guard stops you and demands to know your business. He is unsteady on his feet and his breath is vile. As a group, choose one option. Bribe. Discard 1 item. He would forget he ever saw you. Or misdirect. Nominate a player to roll wisdom in 1 attempt. I don't really want to discard any of my items. Wisdom is the star, so we'll get the Abbott to try and roll wisdom in 1 attempt. And he does. We befuddle the guard with a riddle and we move on. Right, we're getting close. We have 5 more rooms to get through before we find the boss. Without warning, so I should have said without. Abbott goes first. A swarm of giant bats has burst into the passageway. You can only cower beneath the overwhelming blur of wing and fang. As the bats swarm past, each player in turn must roll their character die along with 3 chapter dice. After rolling, a player loses 1 hit point for each chapter die that matches their character die. If you roll a double or no matches, you are unharmed. Right. So 3 dice and a player die for the Abbott. So Abbott rolled that and he rolled 2 stars and a fist. So that's 2 matches. He loses 2 hit points. So I'm assuming the shield will block 1 rather than them being 2 individual hit points. I'm going to play it like that. No, I guess he probably loses both actually, because it said lose 1 hit point for each chapter die, so I'm guessing that's individual hits. And the shield will only block anything above 1. Right, how's Miller going to do here? He rolled a star and no matches. Miller is fine. Okay, we're even Stevens. I'm going to send Abbott first because he does have his shield. With a piercing wail, a hideous creature emerges from the darkness ahead. It drools at the sight of you. As a group, choose one option and then begin combat. We can either surround the beast and attack from all sides, or we stay together and fight on the move. So if we surround him and attack from all sides, he's only 1 dice plus the player dice, so he's got 3 dice we'll have to beat. If we stay together and fight on the move, we'll have 5 dice that we need to beat. The first one with only the 3 dice, he'll be doing 3 damage each time. The second one with the 5 dice, he'll do 2 damage each time. Decisions, decisions. I'm going to mind you, we're only on 10, aren't we? I'm going to risk it, surround the beast and attack on all sides. So it's a fist plus 2. So that's 2 fists and an eye. Potentially we could do this in one go. Potentially. Right, Abbott's going first with his cracked axe. So that's 2 stars, which is absolute rubbish. In comes Miller. He rolls an eye, which is cunning. So I'll just take that. So he does 3 damage to each of us. 1, 2, 3. Only 2 to the Abbott because of his shield. Right. Miller is going to sit this round out and heal 1. Abbott will go in with his axe. 2 fists. He's dealt with. Let's draw an item and see what we would have won. A warped cudgel. So it's the equivalent of those 2, but re-rolling might dice. I won't bother with that. We're both feeling a bit poorly. We're down to 8 health out of the 18 that we started with. And we are still 3 rooms away from the final boss. Right, I'm going to send Miller in first this time because I've been sending Abbott first every other time. A monstrous winged creature swoops at you from the darkness above. Its hunting cry is deafening. You must try and roll cunning or a double in 1 attempt. Cunning is the eye, so sorry, yes, I misread that one probably on some of the cards. When it says you, it is the person who went first. So you must try and roll cunning or double in 1 attempt. Cunning is the eye, he has done it. You react. Oh, okay. Success is you react quickly and dive aside. Begin combat. So we've still got to fight him. It just means we got away with without taking an initial hit. So it's an eye and a star and then 2 dice. So that's an eye and 3 stars. Right, Miller is going to sit out again and heal 1. Abbott is going in. He rolls 2 fists, which is a load of rubbish, and a star, but at least he is shielded from the attack. He is going to go in again. Miller is going to sit out 1 more time. He's shielded again. He rolls 2 stars and an eye. That's the dragon dealt with, or whatever it is. Right, we move on. Miller's going first now because he is the healthiest. Here a man sits at a table, his face even shrouded in shadow. As you edge past, he lurches forward and pulls you close with a snarl, revealing his scarred face and rancid intentions. How can your intentions be rancid? Okay. As a group, you choose one option, flee. You struggle to get away, but not before you lose 3 hit points. Or we fight. I'll bring it down to 7. He's going to do 2 damage each time, and there's 4 dice for us to defeat. So we're going to have probably at least Let's go for it. I'm going to risk it because we have to do at least one round of combat anyway. So fist, star, and 2 dice. So that's a star. And okay. Come on, Mr. Abbott. He gets the 2 stars and the eye in one go. And he's shielded. So we just need Mr. Miller to roll a fist. And he fails, but he has rolled instead a wisdom. So he can use his decayed blade to re-roll that and choose which to apply. He rolls a double fist. There we go. Double fist. So stop saying things like that. Okay. The penultimate chamber. Who's going first? Miller. There is a deafening roar and the passageway begins to shake. A section of the old wall beside you collapses and you are buried beneath chunks of heavy stone. You are incapacitated. To remove the rubble crushing you, the other players must roll in unison, keeping track of any might rolled until they have a total might equal to the number of players. So we have to roll basically 2 fist dice. After each attempt, you lose 1 hit point until the total is reached. If you have not been rescued after 3 attempts, you manage to crawl from the rubble and continue on your way. 1. That's 2. We've done it. Brilliant. That was a nice easy one. Okay. We're at the final door of the Dark Castle. This is it. You have reached the final challenge. One last obstacle stands between you and freedom. Turn over now. The Dark One. Your pitiful trinkets are no match for my dark magic. As you enter the Dark One's presence, any items you are carrying vaporize. Discard them now. Okay. All our advantages are gone. Begin combat. So we have 1 eye, 2 star, 3 stars, and then a dice per player. So that's another star and a fist. Okay, so we're going to get 4 stars, a fist, and it does 3 health with each attack. I've lost my ability to do an extra damage there. Right, Abbott, you go first. Do your worst. He does 2 fists, but at least he is shielded, so the fist is dealt with. Miller. Miller. He does 2 fists as well, but at least he's shielded, so we're not taking a hit. Abbott, rather pathetic. He manages 3 damage each time, so I've got at least 2 rounds of combat, 3 rounds of combat for Miller. And I think, if I remember right, as soon as one person is dead, you've lost the game. So Abbott is going to sit this one out and heal 1. Unless there's a rule that you can't sit out in a boss battle. No, just that at least one player has to fight. Right, so he's going to sit out and heal 1. Miller. Oh, why am I doing it this way around? Miller's got the worst star rolls. Well, at least he rolled 1. There you go. And then he takes 3 hits. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Abbott's stepping back into the game. He comes in with 2 fists, but at least he's shielded. Miller comes in with 2 eyes. So one of those is dealt with, and they're both shielded. Okay. Let's go again. We'll go Abbott first because he is the man with the stars. And he fails to roll the stars, but at least he's got a shield. And Miller, same again. What are the chances? Right. This is potentially doable. Abbott, 2 stars and a shield. Come on, Miller. Nope. He rolls an eye, takes a hit, 3 hit points. Right. Abbott's going first. Come on. 2 fists, but he's shielded. Miller is sitting out. He's going to heal 1. Abbott. Carrying on. 1 star. Dark 1 is toast. So there we go. We have escaped the Dark Castle. That went reasonably well, actually. It's notorious for being quite tough, and you're totally at the mercy of the dice. So there we go. Trying to think, shall I have another go? Shall I have another go? Is anybody even watching? Is anybody there? Go on then, let's do one more, and we'll pick some different characters for what difference it makes, because they're all a 4, 3 and a 1 on their stats. It's just different stats. Let's go for someone with high fight stats this time. So we'll have Smith. So he's high fight and low I. So we'll go Smith and Taylor. Taylor. Smith. I wonder where to solo 3 actually. Never done that before. So we'll go with someone whose fight stats are the middle, shall we? It's going to be Miller or Abbott again. I don't think actually I'm going to do it with slightly off balance. Let's go with extra fight stats there. We'll go take the cook. No, we can't do 3 because I haven't set my fancy tracking thing up to do 3 characters. So, Smith and Taylor. Live editing, eh? Smith and Taylor. $18 each.
Hello.
I'm going to sit the dark 1 out so that we don't randomly select him a second time. And then to mix it up, I will just take the next 15 from the deck because I did shuffle pretty well. So we'll randomly pick one of the 4 remaining bosses. Might be one of the Kickstarter ones, it might be the standard ones, and then 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 rooms. There we go. I'm not going to read all the blurb on this one. Yes, we get an item each. We get a rotten shield for the tailor, and the it's the golden axe. This is from the Kickstarter upgrade pack, which gives you an extra dice. So if you roll the golden axe, you can remove a black die from a combat. You have extra chances of shielding, extra chances of doubles, but a 1 in 6 chance of rolling a skull, which loses the axe and damages you in the process. So Smith has the axe, Taylor has a shield. Right, let's see what we're up against first. Your boot catches a tripwire, releasing a shower of acid from above. All players must try and roll cunning in 1 attempt. Cunning is the eye. Oh dear. Failed. Success. Success For each player, success, you dodge the trap. Fail, the acid splash begins to sizzle and smoke, burning through an item you are carrying. Discard one item. Well, that didn't last long, did it? I was so pleased to see that golden axe, and we didn't even get to see it in action. Right, move on. Smith goes first. We're not damaged because we discarded an item. If we didn't have any items, we would have been damaged. Smith goes first. This passageway leads to a set of old stone steps. They descend into a flooded cave. The water is murky, but a dim light is visible some distance below. You take a deep breath and dive, kicking toward the light. Each player must try and roll a double in one attempt. Fail. Fail. You begin to flounder. You lose 1 hit point and try again. So it isn't a capital U, it is each player, this is. Try again. Passed. So that's another fail for Smith. I've got these cards the wrong way around for my tracking. Just for my brain. I've got a little thing off screen that says who's on the left and who's on the right. If I don't get this the right way around, I'll be doing my tracking wrong. So, who failed? Taylor failed. Now I've got my dice the wrong way around. That's what the confusing thing is. So Taylor failed. Is that right? Taylor on the right, yeah, failed. So, what's that? Begin to flounder, lose a hit point, and try again. Smith has succeeded, so it's just Taylor trying one more time. Right, if you've not succeeded after 3 attempts, then you make it through. So 3 failures and Taylor got out the other side, or the Taylor got out the other side. Right, next. Smith goes first because Smith is the healthiest. That's my logic I use every time. Oh, it's the thing. As you hurry onward, a distant rumbling sound grows steadily closer. It surges to a sudden roar, and the flagstones of the passageway rise up and take form, blocking your way. As a group, choose one option and then begin combat. We either overwhelm the elemental at close quarters, which is just 1 dice per person, or feint and counterattack, which is a fist and an eye, and then 1 dice per person. Well, our eye stats and the fist stats are pretty even between us. I think I'm going to take the high risk option. We'll just go with the 2 character dice, so we have 2 eyes to deal with, and he does 3 damage each time. So Taylor goes first. Smith goes first. 1 eye dealt with. Taylor goes next. Both eyes dealt with. The thing is dead. Right. And we succeeded in a combat, so we draw an item. We get a partially rotten apple. So Taylor is going to have that and then discard it to restore 1 hit point. Right. Smith is going first again. You ascend a narrow spiral staircase emerging onto a windswept bell tower. As you cross the tower, the bell swings to life, its dreary peal shaking your very bones. Any player who cannot roll a wisdom or a double in one attempt loses 2 hit points as the sound begins to drive them insane. Wisdom or a double. Wisdom is the star. Failed. Star. So Smith is fine. Taylor takes 2 hit points of damage. For some reason the shield protects him or her from a loud noise. So we move on. Smith is still going first. Several armed figures spring from the shadows and attack. You become separated and each player must fight alone. Roll a chapter die in front of each player to represent the muggers attacking them. Okay, so Taylor gets a fist, and so did Smith. The muggers want your items. Players carrying 2 items roll 2 chapter dice instead of 1. Begin combat. And as a special rule, each time the player would take damage, they may avoid it by discarding an item. No player can rest until the muggers are defeated. They may then either rest or help another player defeat theirs. A player aiding another takes damage as normal and must declare who they are aiding before they roll. Okay. So let's go with Smith first. Can Smith roll a fist to deal with his mugger? He can. His mugger is dealt with. And can Taylor roll a fist to deal with her mugger? No, she can't. She is shielded, so she won't take a damage, so she doesn't have to discard an item. Second round of combat, she goes again. She rolls a star. Smith will help. And Smith rolled a fist, so he's dealt. Combat succeeded. Draw an item, a stale loaf of bread. Everybody's favourite. I think Taylor will have that, and then discard it instantly to heal 1. Right, Smith is still going first because he is fractionally the healthiest. You wipe dust from the lid of a large tomb, hoping to read its inscription. At your touch, the lid slides open and a giant knight, a Knigget, rises, bellowing that you should not have disturbed him. As a group, choose one option. We can either flee. As you run, you are hacked by the Revenant and lose 3 hit points, or we can fight. So who did I say went first? It was Smith, wasn't it? So there's a special rule that if we do fight, Smith is the only player that the giant attacks, and Smith cannot rest. Let's fight him. What's the worst that could happen? Right. I'm just going to put that gold skull there to remind me that Smith is the target. Right. Taylor goes first. I've not done his dice yet. It's a star and 1 dice per player. 1 of each then. And I could take it that was what I did roll. I did roll it, didn't I? I did. Right, let's have to roll it again. Right, I did it anyway, there you go, so that's that dealt with. And then Smith goes in and does the fist. So now Giant attacks Smith, 2 damage. No, wrong way. Right, Taylor tries again, does an eye, kills the giant. And we draw an item, which is Liquid Luck. Who needs the luck more than any? Discard to re-roll your character die, but only apply the second resort. Smith can have it because he doesn't have any items yet. Right, who's going first? Taylor's going first now because Taylor has overtaken in the healthiness. The chamber is flanked by caves and littered with gnawed bones. A guttural growl rings out as something emerges. As a group, choose an option and begin combat. Tackle the beast head on, which is just 1 dice per person, or use hit and run tactics, which is 3 dice plus 1 per person. That gives us 5 to deal with. I'm going to tackle the beast head on. So just 2 dice to deal with. 2 fist dice. Taylor will go first. Smith is going to sit out and heal. That was a bad decision. So Taylor takes 3 damage. No, 2 damage because he's holding the shield. Now Taylor is going to sit out and heal. Now Smith is going to attack. And Smith rolls 2 fists. The monster is dealt with. We draw an item, a partially rotten apple. So Taylor can have that, and we'll discard it instantly to heal 1 hit point. So we move on. We'll send Taylor first, because at least Taylor does have a shield. You turn a corner and step right into the path of 2 guards. They exchange a puzzled look, then lunge to restrain you. As a group, choose one option. Flee. You force your way past them, but not before taking several grunts and blows. Each player loses 1 H point. H point? Hit point. Why H point? HP or hit point? Same syllables. A H point. Yeah, I think I might start using that. Right. We either begin combat, which is going to be 1 character dice per person, or we both just take 1 hit. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more rooms to get through. We're still at 16 health. I think I'm going to risk this one. We're just going to take 1 hit point each and run. Next, again, we'll still send Taylor first because they've got a shield. You are knocked unconscious and dragged down a side passage. You awake strapped to a table where a man in a filthy apron is scraping rust from a jagged blade. You are to be a test subject for the castle's torture. You, so Taylor went first, must endure pain until your absence is noticed and you are rescued. So come on, Smith, pay attention. Roll your character die 5 times. For each roll that is not a might or a double, lose a hit point. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 hit points lost. That is really bad. Right, Smith's definitely going first now. Bringing his cart to a halt beside you, an intriguing stranger insists you sample his latest brew, a healing elixir, he claims. A spiked club dangles from his belt. Keen as you are to move on, you feel it would be unwise to refuse. How bad can it be? You, so we said Smith went first, so Smith is the you here, must choose one option. Take a sip. The man smiles and rewards you. Draw an item card. Take a long draw. Try to roll might in 1 attempt. Success, you gain 3 hit points. Failure, you vomit and lose a hit point. Well, Smith is quite healthy. Gaining 3 hit points would be awesome because that would put him back up to his starting point. Or we could just take a sip and draw an item. I'm just going to take a sip and draw an item. Oh, am I? Shall I risk it? You can roll might on 1, 2, 3 sides, so it's a 50-50 chance. I do have liquid luck. No, I'm just going to draw the item. The Fury Shard. Once per round of combat, when you roll a double, you may roll again and apply both results. Ooh, I like that. Okay, we move on. And Smith is going first still. The smell of manure, I hate manure, is thick as you enter this chamber, flanked by wooden animal stalls. An agitated beast of burden has broken free of its pen and now blocks your way. It is cornered, mighty horns ready to gouge anyone who gets too close. Begin combat. So it's an eye, and then 2 dice. So 2 eyes and a fist. Combat special. Each round when it attacks, this character deals an additional hit point of damage to any players who hit it. Ooh, okay. Right. I'm going to send Smith in first. He rolls a star, which is useless. I will discard liquid luck to roll that again. He rolled a fist double. Once per round, I can roll again and apply both results. So remembering 2 fists and a shield. 2 fists, that's 3 fists and a shield. Okay. Well, at least he's protected. He failed to hit. takes 2 damage, but only 1 hits because of the shield. Right, next round, Taylor is going to sit this out and heal 1. Smith does a single eye of damage. He hits back with 3 because he remembers that Smith hit him. 1, 2, 3. He's going to heal again. So it's all down to Smith to roll a single eye when I've just remembered that eye is only one side of his dice. And he rolls it. Wow, okay. So we draw an item. A partially rotten apple, which I'm going to discard straight away to heal 1. Okay. Who goes first? I'll send Smith in first again. Oh. You hear a wet, slithering sound. It seems to be coming from within the walls. As you lean in to listen, a disgusting creature bursts through the stonework, bile oozing from its gaping mouth as it lunges to devour you. Any player who cannot roll a double in one attempt is struck by flying debris and loses a 1 hit point. Double. No double. So it gets hit 1. And then we start combat. So it's an eye, 2 stars, and then 2 playbacks. So it's 2 eyes, 2 stars, and a fist. Okay. Taylor goes first. Rolls 2 eyes and a shield. Smith goes next and rolls a single eye. So Smith gets hit for 2. Taylor goes in again. He's not so good at the fist, he's average at the stars. And he rolls an eye. So he's going to get whacked. And then Smith rolls 2 fists. And as the Fury Shard, I can roll that again. 2 fists. So at least he's shielded. Taylor takes a hit of 2, 1 blocked by the shield. Smith is going to sit this one out and heal 1. Taylor goes in and gives it all he's got. 1 eye. He's going to lose an eye at this rate. Takes a hit. Taylor's now going to sit this one out and heal 1. And now Smith attacks. 1 fist. This is not going well. He takes 2. So now Smith will sit the next round out and heal 1. Taylor will attack with 2 eyes, which is a fail. At least he's shielded from the attack. Okay. Next round, Smith is going to sit out again, heal 1. Taylor goes in and rolls 2 eyes again, but at least he's shielded. Right, Taylor is now going to sit out the next round and heal 1. And Smith is going to attack. 2 stars and a shield. It's dealt with. Right, an infested cheese wheel. Discard to restore 1 hit point to all characters. I think we'll just do that straight away. 1, 1. Right, who's going in first? Taylor's going in first because Taylor at least has a shield. We're getting close to the end. As 3 old women draw near, you notice their feet do not touch the ground. With a cackle they lunge, probing you with withered hands and rotten tongues. Begin combat. 1 star. 1 dice per person, per character. The first time the risen hags are defeated, before drawing an item card, roll a chapter die. If the result is wisdom, which is a star, they regenerate and you must restart the combat and defeat them a second time. Right. 13 and 12, and we've got 2 rooms left before we're both Right, let's go for it. Smith is diving in first. He has his Fury Shard in his pocket. He rolls 2 fists, which is useless. Taylor comes diving in, brandishing her shield. She rolls 2 stars. They're both shielded. No attack comes back. Smith is going to sit this one out because his chance of rolling an eye is lowest. Taylor rolls 2 eyes and a shield. The hags are dealt with, but do they regenerate? Yes! And this time it is a star and a fist. Okay. Taylor will go in first again. No, Taylor will sit this one out and heal 1. Smith will go in with 2 fists and a shield. So now we just need to do a star. They are both average at doing a star, so I think they'll both go in at this one. Shielded, missed, didn't it? And we have a star there. Right, hags are dealt with, draw our item. Elixir of Insight. Discard before any round of combat to change any chapter dice to show a trait of your choice. Okay, interesting. So Taylor's going in first again because they've got the shield. A hooded man approaches. He looks cautiously over his shoulder and then whispers, asking if you wish to trade. Each player may choose one option. Trade, discard an item and draw 2 more. Negotiate, try and roll a double in 1 attempt. Going for it, I'm going to negotiate. The Taylor is going to negotiate. Fails. You get nothing. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. The penultimate room. Taylor is going first. Hurrying into this candlelit chamber, you interrupt a sacrificial ceremony. A robed man in a death mask declares that you too must now be sacrificed. Begin combat. You are overcome with fear. I use the skull again to remember. Any doubles count as singles and you cannot block. Ooh. Okay. So we have an eye and a star, and then 1 dice per person. So 2 eyes, a star, and a fist. Right, Smith goes first. Rolls 2 stars and a shield. Taylor goes next. Rolls a fist. He attacks back for 2 damage each, so 1, 2, and 1 because of the shield. Who's got the best chance of rolling eyes? Taylor has. Blocked. Well, no, can't block, and that counts as a single. Rubbish! 1 eye. Okay, so now he attacks back 2 more damage each. 1, 2, 1 with the shield. One star, failed, not blocked, and an eye again. So the guy with the lowest eye stat has defeated the sacrifice. Wengorn's Rune. Whenever you roll a double, you may change it to a single. If you do, the double does not apply. Why on earth would you want to do that? Okay. Weird. Right. This is it. You've reached the final challenge. 1 last obstacle stands between you and freedom. I wonder if it's one of the Kickstarter ones. The last one was a base game. It's not base game 2. Terror of the Underworld. Pain only makes me stronger. At the end of each round, if Terror of the Underworld has not been defeated, he grows in strength. Roll a chapter die and add it to the row of remaining dice. At the end of every round. Right, and he starts off with 1 fist, 1, 2, 3 eyes, and then 1 dice per person. That's another fist and a star. Wow, he is one tough cookie. Okay. Between us, we are worst at what? Good at fighting, bad at fighting, good at wisdom, bad at wisdom, having cunning. They're both middling at the stars. What I might do is let's take one round normally, and then I might use the elixir to swap one of those. Right, 1 star. 2 fist. Okay, that's a good start. Then he does 3 damage to each of us. And he gets 2 because of the shield. Right, I'm going to discard Elixir of Insight to change that to a fist, which is his highest stat. So between us, we're rolling the highest stats. Taylor rolls 2 stars. Taylor, you're rubbish. Smith rolls a single star. We both get hit for 3. Did I add a dice last time? I don't think I did I? So we had an eye to it. And now we add another eye. Or another something. Right. He is a nasty piece of work. Right, Smith is going to sit this round out and heal 1. Taylor rolls a single eye. He hits Taylor back for 3, 2 because of the shield, and then we roll a dice that gets added back in. It's another star. I don't think Smith can afford to stay out. Right, Taylor rolls a single eye. Smith rolls a single fist. He comes back with 3 of each, so 1, 2, 3, 2. Smith has to sit this round out now and heal 1, otherwise Smith is dead. Taylor, hang on, we need another dice back, don't we? So we get another eye. Taylor rolls 2 eyes and a shield. Good one. 1 dice comes back. It's another star. Smith is staying out and healing 1 again. Taylor comes in with an eye. That's bad. So he hits back for 2 because of the shield. I think I'm dead this time, aren't I? And another star comes in. This is ridiculous now. I think we both have to fight and hope that we kill him this round. Right, Smith, double star. You may roll a double, you may roll again and apply both results. Oh, look at that! Wow. 2 successes. That is unheard of, well, at least for me. Okay, so that was a couple of rounds of Escape the Dark Castle, and I did escape the Dark Castle. In fact, I escaped the Dark Castle twice. Hope you enjoyed that. Not that anyone's actually watching. I enjoyed it. It's a nice little game, very easy to set up, very easy to play. nice and thematic with all of the black and white line art. Where's the other monsters gone? Are they under here? So I'm going to just put those at the bottom and it's ready to play next time, but I will forget that and just reshuffle it. So the other 3 monsters we could have fought are the Master of Darkness. That's one of the Kickstarter ones. Each round, after normal damage from a Master of Darkness has been resolved, the gargoyle attacks. Roll a chapter die. If the trait rolled is also showing on any player's die, they lose a hit point. The gargoyle cannot be blocked. The Demented Priestess was one in the original game. So her dice are at the top, and then she has 3 underlings, and you have to defeat the underlings before you can defeat her. And then the other Kickstarter one is the Shapeshifter. Doubles only score a single hit, and at the end of each round, if he has not been defeated, it changes form. You re-roll all of its remaining chapter dice. I like the sound of that. That's good. Cool. So let's put the boss cards in. We put our room cards in. Our player cards. The start card, a little leaflet that explains what the Kickstarter thing is. Yeah, that's it. We're done. Hope you've enjoyed that. I don't know why I'm doing my teardown on the stream, but there you go. That's how simple Escape the Dark Castle is. Hope you've enjoyed. I scraped through by the skin of my teeth on that last one. Look at that, 1 health. Right. Okay. Thank you for watching. Nobody's watching.